All right, guys, Shotty T here with an Alliance War video. This was actually during the season. Been on a little bit of a hiatus. Things been pretty busy at work, and actually I went on a little bit of a vacation as well. So I really didn't focus much on the game other than just logging in for AQ, and that was about it. And also for war fights, and then just log right back off. But I think this was after the compensation break during the war season. So this is the very first war after that. Lost count how many wars this is overall for the season. But first fight here, we have a Quake versus Mordo. And as you can see there, he had triggered his power gain when my concussion wasn't active. So I had to kind of get creative to have him bait the SB1. So, and then once I got that, knock him down, get rid of the protection because of the concussion, and the fight becomes easier from there. But as you can see, I triggered his power gain again, so I'm kind of dancing around to try to bait the special once more. So it kind of got a little annoying towards the end of this fight. And actually, I think I got hit a couple of times. Or I might not have. Okay, I think I get things back under control after that baiting of the special. Like I said, it depends on the RNG. You can actually Quake the whole fight without triggering his power gain. Just depending on when the concussion lines up, when this power gain triggers. As you can see, it triggered a third time during that fight. And like, I got hit once, but still the full bonus. So that's all I care about at this point. And plus, I have a cheese node that I can heal Quake on later. Now, this next fight is Hit Monkey. Quake is not a good option against him because when you cause the opponent to evade, he has like some mechanism where he can't miss. So, because I dueled this fight beforehand, and that's a good tip to you guys. Make sure you duel fights. I mean, of course, you can't simulate the nodes, but just interactions between champions, and of course, you can get familiar with the nodes overall by just doing more game content. All of the like all these Alliance War nodes, they're scattered throughout Act 6. Now the ebb and flow, that's a new thing, but still it's just a straightforward node if you just read the description. There's nothing complicated about it. So I decided to bring in Venom for this fight just to keep things simple. And also his SP1 is easier to evade, so I don't want to go to his SP2. And for some reason, I decided not to knock him down, even though, because that will get rid of his protection. I think I eventually knocked him down during the fight, but for some reason, I decided not to knock him down early on. All right, there we go. So now we knock him down. And that big SB2 with all those furies and the bleed, and it just annihilated him. Like I said, I love this Venom, man. Actually, I'm really strongly considering putting him to rank 3 because I do have a Cosmic class Catalyst for the T5, and I don't have Corvus, I don't have Captain Marvel movie, but the thing is, I'm almost close to forming another Cosmic, so whenever I eventually get those champs in like 2022, then I can rank 3 them, and hopefully by then I'll have like variant 5 completed, because that's coming out tomorrow as I'm posting this video, so that gives you an idea how long it's been since this war happened. But so variant 5, Act 7, so I'll have more than enough resources to rank up another Cosmic champ or 2. So sometimes it's not going to be perfect when you try to wait on the perfect champ to rank up. You sometimes just got to work with what you have to get you through the game content. Now this fight here against Iron Man Infinity War, this was a very, very annoying, tricky fight. There's a lot of stuff going on here, and by the way, Flow is the global node, so you got that to worry about. So I have to repair to get rid of the Flow, and also to be able to parry him. And so he just got me in the corner, and plus this node heavy attacks cannot be interrupted. Now I purposely left the long distance relationship node up so that way I can have some willpower to gain some health throughout the fight. But this is probably the most impressive fight I've had all war season because I'm in the corner having the, and at one point he just gets crazy mode where he's just doing nothing but a bunch of heavy attacks, and you'll see it towards the end. It's very crowding. And at that point, I just did that to just give myself some space, to be honest. But so things are going okay, but this is where things get very crazy. I mean, he just gets crazy, and I just decided to block that because it was too close to decks, both of them. All right, so there's one heavy. There's two heavies. Again, I can't interrupt it because it's. And there's another one. And now I have three. I have 4 weaknesses, and now you have that passive fury. So I mean, look at all these heavy attacks. I mean, it's ridiculous, and I can't interrupt it. So I decided to give another heavy to get an armor break, and now I'm in true strike range. So now I have to bait out these 2 SP1s first, so that way I can get this fight under control. And I don't know why I did a heavy right there because I had True Strike active. I just didn't remember for some reason. And by the way, this node also has it where if you have more power than the defender, he gains that power. So that's why I wasn't able to throw the SP1 then. But we ended up finishing the fight and nearly 100% health again due to that long distance relationship with the debuffs using willpower. So that was a pretty fun fight, but just backed up in the corner all fight. Felt like I was using Quake, but Venom. So now we have a different type of Iron Man Infinity War. This is node 23. This node is pretty annoying with the Mix Master as well as the Oscillator node, and as well as the passive, the prowess gain. So it's very tricky fight. You have to keep your attack simple. So hey, I used Venom the first fight, so we're gonna use Venom again for this fight. And by the way, Quake is a terrible matchup for Iron Man Infinity War because his first medium attack, that beam attack, it cannot be evaded. So, and since if he starts with a light attack, yeah, you can evade it, but not every combo is gonna start with that light attack. So better safe than sorry. Just not use Quake. So this fight starts off pretty standard, straightforward. Just now, at least I can interrupt his heavies with this, but I have to keep in mind not to extend my combos. And he evaded there. I did a medium light attack, and he evaded that second light attack. I mistimed my heavy attack, but I did have an invulnerability boost on. So I decided to do the SB2 right there just to get rid of some of those prowess. And then you see I took a lot of block damage just off that SB1 because he had 4 prowess charges up. The thing about this oscillator node is that when they're in their armor phase, they become very passive, and that gives them opportunity to build up those prowess. So that way, when they turn back into the fury mode, you have to make sure not to even block the special, let alone get hit by it. If you get hit by the special, you're dead. But even blocking it or even parrying it, you're still gonna get damage. And for some reason, I just could not connect that heavy. Now I believe he evaded that one because I tried 2 consecutive basic attacks in a row. In that case, 2 straight heavy attacks. So that's why he evaded that one. But like I said, for the most part, this fight is going okay. Like I said, the random evades. And as you can see, his prowess is like way up there. So at this point, if I get hit by any type of special, probably even blocking at this point, I'm probably dead. But it took a combo there. I got adrenaline, so after this SP1, I think I decided to launch my SP3. Yep, to gather that health back. We want like 6-star champs. So here we go. All right. Again, he's in his passive state, but as long as I keep evading that SP1, there's nothing to worry about. But it is kind of scary when you see 26 prowess charges. It really is. All right, so at this point, I'm in true strike range again, so I think it registered me eventually that I can actually do a full combo. And for some reason, I didn't do it there, and then I get hit by a heavy. So sometimes it helps just to remember what the combo is. So I'm still trying to do heavy only attacks. But if I didn't have Venom, this would be the ideal strategy to do when Iron Man Infinity War is below 15%. But then I realized, yeah, I have true strikes. Let's finish this fight. You can't evade anymore. So anyway, so next fight we have Mephisto on the Footloose node, where every time the opponent launches a special, they gain a dexterity buff, and not a dexterity, but one that they can evade, as well as the unstoppable. So the way to just bypass all of that is with Quake. And also this node is immune to ability accuracy reduction. So that means the crumbling armor is going to trigger, which is good for me because I can use this to cheese heal Quake. So by the time this fight is over, I'll be at 100% health. So that health that I lost in that Mordo fight was irrelevant, but I think I killed him too quickly before I get to 100% health. But that's going to be a stark contrast with the next two fights. So you guys will be getting more of the Quake jamming like I did in that previous Alliance War video, where I'll just have music playing. Now I will say about this Nova fight is that you'll see in the very beginning that when I'm charging my heavy attack, when he's dashing, he does not gain power. So just a little pro tip there. So, but because the ebb and flow intercept, there's reduced damage. So as a result, these fights are going to last longer. So just enjoy the fights. All right, guys. As you can see, I dropped my heavy quite a few times. I almost pushed him to a bar of power. But the next fight is with Magic. So once again, ebb and flow. And 60% reduced damage. So it's going to be another long fight. So enjoy. All right, guys, that is the end of that fight. So what I'll probably do moving forward, whenever there are wars where I'm bringing Quake for a lot of the fights, I'll probably just edit it out. But I know some of you guys like to watch the Quake fight so you can get used to the animations against certain opponents, because every opponent has different strings of attacks. So that way you can recognize what the second medium attack looks like and what the fourth light attack looks like, because those are the combo ending hits. Of course, the only way the fourth light attack can occur is on a 5-hit combo. So you'll obviously know when you can reset your heavy there. But the second medium attack, that can come on a 2-hit combo, a 3-hit combo, 4-hit combo, or a 5-hit combo. So it's definitely imperative to recognize that second medium attack. So that way you'll know exactly when you can recharge your heavy and be able to quake and shake, to be honest, because quake and shake, that's a guaranteed way to not incur any damage. Like I said, it's effective against like 95% of the opponents in the game. Like I said, there are certain opponents that this is not a good matchup for, like Iron Man Infinity War, Hit Monkey. So you saw 2 of those in this war. But there are a few others out there. Like Hyperion can be kind of tricky because of his constant fire gain. Of course, Vision Arcus. Who else? What's his name? Killmonger. Every time you apply that concussion, he gains that power. So I think it might be 1 or 2 others, but those are the main ones there that make it difficult to quake. But again, it's over 100 champs in the game, so she can handle any other opponent on any other node except for True Strike, of course. And of course, with this new stubborn tactic, that's gonna nullify her abilities quite a bit. But that was a simple fight. Now, what you didn't see is that I did try this fight with Venom, and I ended up just totally messed up. And what I did, I just hard reset the fight. I didn't want to get a KO off of that. So, so now this next fight is gonna be probably one of the most frustrating fights of the whole war, and you'll see why. But I bring in Venom. Now this node, probably I didn't have the best matchups for him overall, because what this node does is that you cannot stun the opponent. You'll get punished. I think if you stun the opponent, you'll get inflicted with a reflective stun. I think it lasts like 6 to 8 seconds. So they can just combo you into oblivion. And also, the only way you gain power is if you put a debuff on the opponent. Now, Human Torch, normally I bring for this fight, but the thing about Annihilus, when he has that little Cosmic Rod up, he's immune to Incinerate. So Human Torch would be ineffective in this matchup, and I wanted to save his pre-fight ability for the boss. So as you can see, the beginning of the fight, things are going pretty smoothly. There's a set tactic you can do against Annihilus. When he dashes at you with his medium attack, you can dex back and light intercept counter, and I mistimed that one there. And also his SP1, it can be pretty tricky to evade, but all you have to do is just stand farther away from the screen, because sometimes he'll just throw it even if you're far away. If you try to dex it when you're close up on him, it does become more difficult to evade that special. So as you can see, he just launched it and I wasn't even close to him. So, and another thing I like to do with Venom here is use that num thing to eat up that rod, as well as the furies that he gained after the fact. And also what it does is regenerates health. So as you can see, I'm subconsciously making sure I don't parry. After every combo, I hold back the block button. So that way, I'm not like hitting it right as he's attacking and trigger the parry mistakenly. But as you can see, this fight is going super smooth. But Annihilus, he is a pretty aggressive guy, so he does come at you. So if you're not prepared to do the light counter, he's gonna keep coming at you. And I'm trying to bait a SP2. Not SP1, I mean. Because the SP2, you can't, it's hard to evade, so you have to take a lot of block damage. So right there, I just got randomly parried him. And as you can see, I got stunned for quite a bit. And now I got all those stifles on me. So every time I dash back, he goes unstoppable. So I'm just cornered. And I think at one point, I actually fight out of the corner. So there was like a little bit of hope, but then I got parried and I just threw my phone down, as you can see there. So I decided to go back into the fight. So I revive Venom for this fight to go in a second time. And the same thing you saw that happened at the end of that first fight happens again in this one. I just randomly parry the guy because he's just coming at me. But you'll see it. You'll see it. It was so frustrating. So there it is. I mean, and like I said, I'm just stunned. It's nothing I can do. It's nothing I can do. I'm just getting comboed into oblivion. Like, I was done. And believe it or not, I died a third time. This is the same thing. I didn't even record that fight. So I just went ahead and skipped to the next fight, revived Venom for it, because I purposely brought him primarily because of that Spider-Gwen mini-boss. And of course I brought Human Torch for the Bane boss. So yeah. So I just skipped to the next fight. So I had put on a combat regeneration boost. So that way I can heal myself a little bit during this fight. But yeah, that was a very frustrating fight there. Just random parries out of nowhere. I mean, it's not really out of nowhere, just that I couldn't dash back quick enough after his first medium because I just for some reason decided not to do my dash back counter light attack because I was more focused on baiting specials. But this fight goes much easier. Venom is great against all Spider-Verse champs because they can't evade. So you can go into a full combo. And for some reason, I decided to just mistime my SB2, and I could have died if she punished me afterwards. So it's a little bit of sloppy fighting with Venom in this war. Started out great. I mean, the Iron Man Infinity War fights were great, but like I said, the rise and fall of Venom, I think that's going to be the title of this video. But he does have a little bit of redemption at the end by one-shotting this mini-boss. And he also ends up finishing up the main boss, because you're going to see more shenanigans in this boss fight. So just want to give you guys a heads up. So the boss fight, we have Human Torch. We're going to be putting the pre-fight ability on against Doom. Normally this is a pretty easy one shot. Now with the stubborn tactic, it's a little bit tougher to one shot, because when you dash backwards, he gains that indestructible. So all those Nova Flames and all that damage you're dealing to him, it gets nixed. But I'm curious to see what'll happen. I want to see an off-season world where I can bring in Human Torch against a stubborn Dr. Doom and see if I can still get that one shot. But as you can see here, I hit into the block to try to bait heavies, because I don't want to try to bait heavies by getting hit into the block, especially when he has the R active. And if I have a buff on me, if he hits into my block and he has the aura active and I have a dexterity buff, he'll just nullify it by contact, which will shock me and get heavy attack. And that has happened before, so I know that from experience. Cause I wasn't always able to one-shot Dr. Doom with Human Torch. I had to go through some growing pains. But as you can see there, I kind of messed up there. I should have retreated when I saw that shock debuff on me. But and that little bit of that health loss ends up gonna be a big difference towards the end of this fight. But as you see, everything's going pretty smooth so far. Like I said, I'm trying not to take hits into the block because of the block penetration, and Human Torch doesn't have the best block proficiency either. And I'm okay with the 4 smolders that I have. I don't really need too many. With the 5-minute timers, it makes it easier to just methodically fight. But as you see, I got hit with another heavy attack. And again, like I said, I'm still in good shape though to one-shot the guy. Alright, so I got the shock debuff, so this time I made sure I retreated. And now we're back to our regular scheduled program. Alright, now keep in mind, you just saw him do that heavy attack and I immediately punished it, and without penalty. So I want you to keep note of that, because you're going to see something crazy happen in just a moment. See, I did the same thing I just did 10 seconds ago. Tried to punish his heavy and went right in. I comboed him last time, but this time I got parried. And that was it. Maybe I was half like nanosecond off, caused the difference between not being parried and parried. But I ended up finishing him with Venom. He was in the last 15%, so it was really a quick fight from there. And we lost the war, unfortunately, but our BG did clear 100%. But hope you guys enjoy. Subscribe. There will be more videos to come. Take care.